Expert Patient Group, Edinburgh Community Pulmonary Rehabilitation Service. The Expert Patient Group are volunteers living with chronic lung disease who have successfully completed a pulmonary rehabilitation programme, engaged with lifestyle changes and demonstrated maintenance of self-management techniques. They co-facilitate group information sessions for patients referred to the Pulmonary Rehabilitation Service who are unsure or unaware of the potential benefits of pulmonary rehabilitation. They share their own stories, offer peer support, and have been described as both inspirational and motivational by subsequent participants. In addition to their support and mentoring role, they also contribute to service development and national projects such as Living It Up. Helen Rice. Helen is a powerful advocate for self-management in her involvement with Work for Me as a volunteer and director, and by the example of her own journey. Having battled with chronic pain and fatigue for many years, she was finally diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility type, in January 2011. Using a self-management approach, she has successfully made the challenging transition from being dependent on incapacity benefits to being self-employed. Helen has supported other people to make this transition, has used her lived experience for media articles, and is now about to take part in a triathlon.
Brian Brown. Brian Brown is an exceptional person, always positive, cheerful and supportive to others. Brian always says that he may have MS, but MS does not have him. Brian participates in self-management courses and is always willing to help explore self-management options for individuals who live with long-term conditions. He travels to schools, groups, etc. to talk about self-management, to inform and guide on how to move forward and still be able to get the most out of their lives. Clive Whiteside. Clive Whiteside started the St Andrews Multiple Sclerosis self-support group when he noticed others with MS felt the same need for ongoing support. He worked with staff at St Andrews Hospice, Airdrie, and for a small start they have grown to around 18 attending on the last Thursday of every month. Members support each other electronically out with the meetings, build relationships and discuss any concerns they have. In response to the needs, wishes they discuss, they invite speakers to talk to the group. They say that simply by virtue of attending the group, they are retaining some independence. Breast cancer care. Breast cancer care was founded in 1973 and established a dedicated office in Scotland in 1989. Breast Cancer Care Scotland is the leading charity providing information and support services to anyone affected by breast cancer in Scotland. Their moving forward courses are designed for those who have finished their initial hospital-based treatment and are looking for information and support to help them in the self-management of their condition. They work in partnership with hospital staff to deliver course content and encourage referrals for patients approaching the end of their treatment.
New Horizons Borders. New Horizons Borders is a members-led service established in 1993 by people who were using mental health services and felt they needed community rather than clinical support. Primarily, they facilitate peer support drop-ins across the Scottish borders for people with mental health difficulties within their local community. The project can be accessed through self-referral, and people can just drop into their nearest group at the time they need support without the need for a referral or an assessment of need. As the project has evolved, they now offer residential respite breaks, healthy eating groups, gardening projects, as well as working with Borders Recovery Network to facilitate RAP workshops and self-management peer support sessions called Stepping Stones. Engage Renfrewshire, Payroll and Financial Services. Engage Renfrewshire offers a range of community payroll and financial services. They offer payroll services to individuals who are employing personal care staff or workers in the community. By developing a bespoke service, they look to take care of all the challenges payroll financial management can create for their clients. Their services are all scale, so it doesn't matter whether a client is a third sector organisation with more complicated needs, or an individual looking to deal with the difficulties and responsibility of payroll and employer's tax. They aim to deliver an excellent supportive service based on the individual's requirements.
Momentum. Momentum's Bellahouston Garden project is within Bellahouston Park in the southwest of Glasgow and is an amenity beneficial to locals as well as their clients. Through the experience of sharing and looking after a project, clients have learned a degree of self-management, particularly the need to be consistent, to lay the foundations in order to reap the reward, the need to consider the long term and to work constructively within a team. The Bellahouston Garden project has met a huge need for the clients and encouraged them to develop their team working skills, build stamina, to learn about horticulture and the environment, and to take individual and collective responsibilities. The Garden project is a means of getting more people to interact with their community, building a better future for the residents of Glasgow. This project is more than just digging and planting, but a constructive, organised means of helping people put their lives back together and to improve their self-management.
Little Haven. The Little Haven offers a drop-in centre in Lanarkshire to people affected by life-limiting illness and their families and carers. It also provides holistic therapies, hair and beauty treatments, and peer group support and counselling to help self-management of their condition and therefore improve health and well-being, self-confidence and self-image. It was founded by two local ladies diagnosed with cancer at the same time, who realised that there was a need for a place that was calm and peaceful, a space to talk and to be nurtured and supported when undergoing gruelling medical treatments. Lynn Reid and Kim Robertson Arthritis Care. Lynn and Kim from Rothsay came on board as self-management training volunteers at the beginning of this year. They attended 4 days of intensive training in Inverary. This training equipped them to go out into their community and develop self-management modules. Both girls live with a long-term condition, and this has allowed them to grow at the same time as helping others grow and self-manage within their community by delivering this effective modular self-management programme.
Stuart Davidson. Stuart was nominated because his personal achievement is extraordinary. Stuart is a father, a husband, and a painter, and his willingness to share his story with others in order that they may benefit from his experience is humbling and inspirational. Stuart has read his story at public events and has been willing to share his learning about self-management and his story of hope on a daily basis with people he now supports. It is the hopefulness in Stuart's story that has inspired others to believe that they can too recover.
Kylakin Connections Skye and Lochailsh Disability Association. Kylakin Connections is part of Skye and Lochailsh Disability Association. It is funded by fundraising events, funding applications and part funding by NHS Highland and Highland Council. It's a fantastic resource to both people with disabilities and the wider community. People travel from all over Skye and Kyle of Lochailsh to attend Kylakin Connections. Kylakin Connections operates a community cafe and bookshop led by volunteers and people with both learning and physical disabilities, a day centre and activities including life skills, education, work, cooking, arts and crafts, projects, conservation, gardening, gaining qualifications, outdoor pursuits, IT access and skills, and much more.
Penumbra Hope Toolkit. The Hope Toolkit is based on Penumbra's framework for recovery of home, opportunity, people and empowerment. It contains strength-based personal plans, tools, tips and resources focused on aspects of well-being. Its purpose is to enable people to develop self-management skills, techniques and strategies that support recovery and promote sustained health and well-being. The toolkit is now being used throughout the full range of Penumbra services and is being used by other organisations across sectors. As the toolkit is focused on well-being, it is relevant for everyone and all services and does not assume a set of personal needs or personal outcomes. Scottish Recovery Network accredited RAP, Wellness Recovery Action Planning. RAP is a self-management tool to help people better manage their mental health and well-being and supports recovery from mental health problems. Originally developed in the United States by a group of people with mental health problems, RAP is used in many countries around the world. When RAP is introduced to people in small group settings, it can have a dramatic impact in making people feel that they have more control over their own well-being and mental health recovery. It emphasises that people are the experts in their own experience and is based on the premise that there are no limits to recovery.
NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde Vocational Rehabilitation Service. The Vocational Rehabilitation Service supports people accessing NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's acute services to help them in returning to or sustaining work. The service initially was for people living with cancer, but in the second year this extended to include people with multiple sclerosis and inflammatory bowel disease. The service is a case management-based vocational rehabilitation service which offers work-focused support using a person-centred biopsychosocial model. It also raises awareness with healthcare professionals to increase awareness of work issues, to encourage more work-related discussion with people, offering access to self-management resources where required. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde Vocational Rehabilitation Service. The NHS Vocational Rehabilitation Service commenced in 2011 and is a partnership between NHS, Macmillan and Glasgow City Council. The service is funded by Macmillan and Scottish Government has provided funding for ongoing evaluation of the service. It is delivered in NHS Acute Greater Glasgow and Clyde. The service was initiated as there was a growing range of policy drivers and evidence which together provide strong rationale for developing interventions within the NHS to support people with cancer and other long-term conditions to remain in work, return to work or to obtain work.
NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde and Alzheimer's Scotland. As part of the Dementia Heat Target, a joint NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde and Alzheimer's Scotland post-diagnostic support service was established in August 2012 in South Glasgow. Self-management for people with dementia was seen as a key aspect of this service to enable clients to support themselves following on from this 1-year post-diagnostic support. A self-management group for clients and their carers was established. Occupational therapy staff and Alzheimer's Scotland link workers developed the 8-week programme. It was important to design the programme around the Alzheimer's Scotland's 5 pillars of support, as this is the core approach of the new Dementia Heat Target. Breast Cancer Care Moving Forward courses. Breast Cancer Care Scotland is the leading charity providing information and support services to anyone affected by breast cancer in Scotland. One of the charity's flagship services, Moving Forward courses, are designed for those who have finished their initial hospital-based treatment and are looking for information and support to help them in the self-management of their condition. Breast Cancer Care works in partnership with the NHS staff who deliver expert sessions and refer patients approaching the end of their treatment. The partners for this service are NHS Lothian, NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, NHS Lanarkshire and NHS Fife.
Heart Failure COPD Support Service, Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland and NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. Recognising the positive impact of a befriender in the lives of socially isolated people living at home with a long-term condition, for example better use of NHS services and improved quality of life, NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde and Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland have developed a service offering 3 levels of support to those living with heart failure and COPD. These are befriending, providing the most vulnerable clients with a matched volunteer, forum meetings, providing education, self-management and peer support, a newsletter reinforcing information and education to promote self-management and reduce social isolation. Its key objectives are to reduce social isolation, increase the potential for clients' participation in new or previously enjoyed activities, and to improve quality of life. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's Long-Term Conditions Planning Framework for 2013 to 2014 recognises that better knowledge of and awareness of their long-term condition helps people understand their symptoms and experiences and improves their long-term health and well-being. It acknowledges the development of the Supported Self-Care Framework, which aims to facilitate the systematic implementation of this approach. It states that a supported self-care action plan is core to managed clinical network business and should include a disease-specific, tailored approach to the framework. The key performance indicators for CHCPs also relate to the 6 key dimensions of the framework.
NHS Highland. NHS Highland is geographically the largest health board in Scotland, covering an area of 32,000 squared kilometres from Kintyre to Caithness, serving 300,000 people. It employs over 9,000 people, making it one of the largest employers in the region. The Highland Council have recently set up an agreement with NHS Highland, who will now act as the lead agency in the delivery of adult social care. This opportunity has resulted in reorganisation of services and the establishment of the Highland Health and Social Care Services, and brings together for the first time community, primary, social care and acute hospital services. NHS Grampian. Over 30 surrogate patients and 40 clinicians across 5 specialities have been participating in a No Delays initiative in the NHS Grampian led by Dr Jamie Hogg, the Institute of Design Innovation at the Glasgow School of Art and Maverick TV since May 2012. No Delays is a co-production initiative between members of the public, third sector, clinicians and health professionals, and is focused on developing digital support to help people better understand and manage their chronic long-term conditions following clinical diagnosis. It is aimed at developing robust, workable and patient-friendly approaches to help people better understand and manage their health and chronic conditions.